guys, welcome to today's vlog. We are hiking Packenham Junior and this is, it's quite a steep grind to get to this point. It starts off quite steep, but it's right beside Grizzly, Opal, and King Creek. So I've done those three. Might as well check the last one off my list. This one is about 6K, I believe, and a 600-meter elevation. So I'm kind of expecting very similar to Prairie Mountain. We're doing this in April, so it's shoulder season. The weather is going to be crazy and unexpected. It just started to snow, so we'll see how the day goes. I'm hoping for amazing views up there. I'll see you guys in the next clip. Hey, you guys. Oh, I'm just updating you really quick. I took off my mic and everything. There is ticks everywhere right now. These and I already have had like maybe 5 each that we found on us. So I've been using this, my homemade tick oil, and I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that there's tons of snow at the top and I'm not dealing with this all day, because honestly, I'd rather see a bear on a trail versus a tick, like any day, honestly. So we'll continue onward and we'll hope for the best. I probably won't be hiking a ton after today just because of the ticks, but it's definitely the time of the year for it. I'll see you guys in the next clip.
How could I know it would be goodbye, my love? When did the close of forever come, my love? All I recall was a stare that was vacant and cold. Where did the spark go, the warmth that once stole my soul?
we've made it to the top of Packenham Junior. I had to think about the name for a second. The big Packenham or Packenham Senior is right there. It is really crazy. So this one doesn't seem as crazy anymore now that I'm seeing that one. We have Mount Evan Thomas on this side. And I think somewhere over there, I'm pretty sure it's that one, it's King Creek. So yeah, really amazing 360 views, definitely worth it. This one was harder than I thought it was gonna be. I'm really hoping you guys can hear me, by the way, because it's super windy. But yeah, definitely harder than I expected it to be. And there was a ton of ticks in the beginning of the trail. So if you are planning to do this, maybe wait until July or August when it starts to heat up a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys in the after hike summary. Bye. Okay guys, this is the way we went up earlier. We went and scrambled up this, but you can actually avoid this by going around this way, just in case you're wondering. Guys, welcome to my after hike summary for Packenham Junior Peak. So this one I did last weekend and I still have not so great memories of it, but we'll talk about it. So this one I clocked in at 3.9K with an elevation gain of 634 meters, which is actually quite a lot of elevation gain for such a short hike. So you're gaining basically 600 meters of elevation in less than 2 kilometers. So I kind of underestimated how hard it would be. I thought it would be very similar to something like Prairie Mountain, which has about the same elevation gain, but it's a little bit longer. It's around the 6K range now that they've redone the trail. But this one in a lot of sections is pretty like straight up, especially when you get near the end. So after you get past all of the grassy meadows and the treed sections, you get out of that tree line, it is basically just straight up. Don't underestimate this one. This one is still gonna give you an amazing workout even though it's shorter. It's still definitely a challenge even though it's a shorter hike. So this one is situated right between King Creek Ridge and Grizzly Peak, and I didn't initially recognize Grizzly Peak. I think in the video I was saying that it's Mount Evan Thomas that was beside me, but it was actually Grizzly Peak, which I hiked a couple years ago. It's one of my favorite hikes. Actually, I really liked Grizzly. And so this one is like between that one and King Creek Ridge. And King Creek Ridge definitely like towers over this one, but I definitely felt in some parts of this hike that it was definitely equal or a little bit harder than King Creek Ridge, because you know, once you get past that steep section on King Creek and you reach the ridge, it's not steep anymore. You just walk along the ridge until you get to the top. Let's talk about the trail conditions on this one. This one was dry for the most part in the beginning. The only snow left over on this one was at the peak, and there was quite a lot of snow up there. So I actually didn't even realize there was a pink summit box at the top, but it was probably buried under, you know, like a foot of snow or more. So number one, I didn't know it was there. Number two, I did not go looking for it, but it was likely under the summit cairn, which was pretty much buried under snow. Let's talk about how the trail started. So this starts off just off Highway 40. There's no parking lot or anything. You're just parking on the side of the road on the shoulder, and there is a fence there as well, so you have very limited places that you can park for this one, but it starts off along Hood Creek. Now, when you get to the first part of the trail, it's definitely a lot of deadfall, a lot of, you know, dead grass. Okay, don't come for me. I don't know all the names of the trees, okay? I think they're poplar trees. They have white bark. That's what you get in the beginning of the trail. They're very windblown and there's no leaves on them, obviously, because it's the beginning of the season still. So with that type of environment, you are going to get ticks. Not only with that, is that I heard that there's a lot of sheep that live on this mountain, and unfortunately the day that I went, I did not see a single sheep, which I was kind of disappointed about because I saw photos from like previous days and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many sheep up there, I'm gonna see sheep. And you know, when all the ticks started to happen and the ticks started to land on me and everything, I think I would have, you know, enjoy this trail a little bit more if I saw sheep, because that would have made it worth it, but I did not see any sheep. The ticks were absolutely insane. I've never seen so many ticks in my life. About 2 years ago, I actually tried to hike Junction Hill at the same time of the year, and there was so many ticks on that one where my friend and I basically only made it like 500 meters into the trail and then decided to go home because we did not want to deal with the ticks. Now, in this case, my friend and I decided just to finish the hike. We decided to finish the hike, and it did get better near the top because there wasn't any ticks after a certain elevation. When we passed the tree line and we got to, you know, the scramble section where the big hill is near the end, well, it's not really near the end, but it's gonna be your last, like, it's gonna be your like last push to the summit. That section had no ticks, okay? So I think for the most part, they were living in like the bushes and in the poplar trees and in the long grass. And up here you get like alpine grass and rocks. So there wasn't any ticks up there. So that was the only saving grace for this hike, because if there was ticks all the way to the summit, I don't know how I would have made it up there. The views up there were absolutely amazing. Was it worth the grind? Yes. Was it worth the ticks? Probably not. I don't know about that, because you know, I have been on Grizzly before, I have been on King Creek before, so I've gotten similar views where I didn't have to deal with ticks. I think that this would be a nice winter option if it's safe. Like, I've obviously not looked into avalanche terrain and stuff like that as far as this hike goes, because I didn't do this one in the winter time, but I think that this would be a lot safer tick-wise in the winter and in the heat of the summer. So yes, I would definitely consider doing this one again. I liked it, I liked the grind, I liked the views, but yeah, the ticks really just ruined it for me. I obviously don't want ticks living in my car at any point, so we did a thorough tick check right at the vehicle, and we did find a bunch that were on my friend and I. There was one on my toque, there was one trying to get into my gaiters, and yeah, I also found one on my back trying to latch. So that was a lot of fun getting that one off. I feel like I'm over dramatic with ticks. I also scream and cry, and it was just not a good experience. My friend ended up finding 2 ticks in her hair inside my car, and one actually landed on her neck as well. So there was 3 total that she found in my car, and there was another one in her hair. When we got to the gas station, because we were both like, let's just, you know, chill, let's just get coffees and go into the washroom and check ourselves, and she did find one in her hair after. So I am gifting her with a lice comb for our next adventure together,
because those ones actually really, you know, can get, you know, into your hair and take every little tick out of your hair. Last but not least, if you want some advice with ticks, I do use an essential oil combination, which I have in a YouTube short on how to make it, but it's basically like lavender, eucalyptus, peppermint, and cloves, and it worked for everywhere that I put it, except I didn't think about putting it on my back, like on my actual skin. I only put it basically on my clothes, and it worked to keep the ticks at bay for the most part. So I highly do recommend that, and definitely wear gaiters, number one, because you do not want ticks inside your shoes or on your socks. Number two, keep your hair tied up at all times. If not tied, braided. Wear a hat, wear like relatively tight fitting clothes so nothing can get into your clothes, which I normally do this, but on that day I was wearing a loose fitting top, and that's how I believe the tick got onto my back in the first place. But yes, wear tight fitting clothes. Wear your socks over your leggings if you're wearing leggings, over your pants if you're wearing pants, and I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all for this video. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye!
I let you into